Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions, virtual sessions where sometimes we're sideways. Hey, there we go. Wee! Awesome. We're here today with Deuandra coming in from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm in the virtual studios here up in Seattle, and we got a lot to talk about today. Deuandra, thank you very much for being here on the DJ
Ah,
Sessions today. Hi.
thank you.
Well, you are a very, very busy, talented person doing so much stuff. We're going to jump right into some of the stuff that you've been up to. I mean, we're going to talk about it all, but a new album, a new movie, Fashion Week, and another fashion show. I mean, do you sleep?
I do. I sleep a little bit.
Awesome. You just released a new album called Fit, and let's talk about that a little bit. What was the inspiration behind the album Fit? Because this isn't your first. Is this your first release album? Because I know you've done some tracks and singles and stuff before, is this your first like full length album you've done, or have you done multiple albums?
No, this is
Okay, there we go.
my 12th
12,
album.
12 albums.
12, yes.
Wow. Nice. Congratulations on that. And what was the inspiration,
Thank you.
motivation behind Fit?
Okay, so Fit is about fashion.
Okay, there you go.
So I recently, from a little girl, I've been doing fashion shows and modeling and all that stuff. And then I put it kind of on pause when I went to college for film and, pursuing my music career. And my mom passed away in 2022. She was a fashion designer.
Okay.
So anyway, when she passed away, it was like fashion found me again. All of a sudden, I was getting all these invites to do fashion shows and every weekend pretty much, and then I decided to get into fashion design as well, so I became a fashion designer. So when I made my album Fit, it's focused a lot on fashion, but it's also focused on truth and some of my life experiences, like with my mom passing away and heartbreak love and a lot of stuff like that as well. But I feel like it's more growth, and it was my first spoken word album because I normally do pop, R&B, a little bit of Christian, and a little bit of rap. But this time it was a little bit more spoken word.
And that's, I used to go to this thing called the poetry. It was open mic, Poetry Ethel. I won't say it because I don't want to get taken down from Spotify or anything like that. But I always had an awesome time going to those type of open mic events and spoken word events. Very talented people and very powerful and moving. With I think that to me it's an underrated performance medium that I think could be a lot more, could be out there a lot more. And I'm super excited. Something I'm working on up here is a small project that may bring that more as a show series. I'm sure a lot of people are doing it now online with the advent of technology opening up. But yeah, I love spoken word. So is it spoken word with like music in the background, or is it more spoken word without music? Is there a journey or a process or an emotion you're trying to get people to feel when they're doing this? That is, when you made these pieces.
So yeah, I produced all the music tracks. Every song has music to them.
Okay.
And even though it's spoken word, a lot of people still feel like it's rap.
Okay.
But I feel like it's telling a story in more of a spoken word version, but you might take it more of a rap version. So it just depends on what the audience hears.
So is it stage show rap performance, or is it Broadway show stage show spoken word? If you were to put this on a stage.
Probably a little bit of both. Like, okay, I have this song called Dancing in the Dark. I just released the music video. I feel like that would be more like a Broadway type of, theatrical type of song. And then I have another song called Fearless and The Shit. So the shit, people take that more like rap.
Uh-huh.
And Fearless, I think, is a little bit of both. A little bit of
Okay.
rap, a little bit of spoken word put together. Um, So I guess it's a combination of all of it, but truly spoken word and rap, I mean, it's all poetry. It's all pretty much the
Mhm.
same.
Yeah,
So
totally. I was watching something recently online. My friend and I frequently watch comedy shows, and it was funny. We were here the other night having dinner, and we were looking for comedy shows. And on Netflix, Whoopi Goldberg's the movie Sister Act came up. She's like, "Oh, my mom loves Sister Act, and I love the movie." Da, da, da. I was like, "Okay, cool." And I said, "Yeah, but I grew up with Whoopi Goldberg and watching her do this comedy act that I watched multiple times as a kid. But it was a Broadway performance comedy show, not a comedy show, not a stand-up comedy show. There was comedy in it. And also that evening, we'd also put in and watched John Leguizamo. He did this like stand-up comedy show, like the history of Spanish America. Gosh, I should know the title is. I'm so bad. I don't. I love them both, but it wasn't a stand-up comedy show, but there was comedy and laughter involved. So if you thought you were going to go see these two, and Whoopi Goldberg's was in 1985, so this is old school. So you got to remember, television TV wasn't filmed in a certain way back then that it is
I
now.
love Sister Act. That's
Yeah.
one movie me and my mom used to always watch
Yeah,
together.
that's what she said. Her mom just loves it. She used to love watching it with her mom because her mom's a vocal coach and
Yeah.
musician. And
I heard they're doing a remake actually. It's
oh
gonna be on
wow!
Netflix or something. I don't know, but I heard that.
Hence
So
why Sister Act is newly released on Netflix. They probably just announced it and put it out there to spark interest. But long story short, it was interesting. That's why I asked the difference between would it be a spoken word show if it was on stage, or would it be a performance based like hip hop show? But you're like, you answered it. It'd be both. So that's awesome. In addition to that, though, you've also released a new movie out as well. Two Fouché.
Twelve Fouché, yes.
Fouché. I should have put the you in there on my thing. Two Fouché. I got to brush up on my French. I'm going to Europe a lot more next year, so I should know my French a lot better. But tell us about Two Fouché.
Okay, so Ten Fouché is it's a French sci-fi fantasy film. It's about a girl named Lily, which I play. She travels the world through frozen time. So, and literally, I traveled the world all last year. I was doing Fashion Week shows. And while I was in each place, I'm like, I'm going to make a movie. I'm going to make a sci fi film. So I put out a casting call in each place, got all local talent so that way everything would be authentic. And it was fun to shoot, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. We just had a premiere in LA at the Bright Light Film Festival. It was a finalist. And I also won 4 awards for it for international film festivals like in Hong Kong and India. So I was excited to win and be a finalist. And then I just got another email that told me they're going to screen it again in LA at a different film festival in December. So I'm excited about that. I'll be making a post about that later on. But yeah.
What's the length?
It's a feature film. It's an hour and 5 minutes.
Wow, nice.
And it's streaming right now on. I have a Roku streaming channel.
Okay.
So anybody that has the Roku remote, just add Deuandra TV, and you could rent it or buy it. And it's also on Vimeo as well. And then later on, I'll put it on other streaming platforms like Amazon and stuff like that. But I really want people to come more to Deuandra TV, so that way we could build my channel up.
No, I love Roku. We have a channel there as well that I've had some custom stuff done, and we're super excited for that. I need to have it updated here soon. Things have fallen by the wayside over just a little bit on that side of the Roku, Amazon, and Google Play. We're looking to get an Apple TV app here eventually. That's just a submission process of its own. But I think I'm going to get version 2.0 of our app coming out here before I go dev all that stuff. But congratulations on that. I know Roku is an awesome place for people to find content, and having your own station there is I think everyone that's an artist should have all the platforms, and but unfortunately it's still not all in one place yet, unfortunately. If it could all be put in one place and go boo, and help grow artists' careers, or give them a platform they could disseminate stuff on, and also come back and make not have the organization take 50% or 75%
Right.
or whatever it is. I get it. There's hosting costs. Video hosting is not cheap unless
No.
you know how to do what you're doing, but not everyone does, and it's not a process. I was talking about that with somebody this morning about you know of what I've done. I was even talking with you pre-show about giving somebody the history of all the growth we've gone through over here, and having to create things out of nothing that didn't exist way ahead of the time. And now people walk up and go, "Oh, I can click a button and boom, this works." And like, you don't even know. You don't even know. Yeah. So congratulations on that. We'll look that up
Thank
on
you.
Roku.
You too.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and that was Deuandra TV, correct?
No, Deteron TV.
Oh, Deteron. Deteron.
Deteron.
Deteron.
Yeah.
Spell that out.
So it's DETARON TV.
Oh, Deteron. Okay, gotcha. That will go right in our subtitles perfectly well when that comes out. So awesome. So okay, and now on top of all that, you said you traveled the world last year, made a movie, had the album come out. You were just in New York last week for Fashion Week, and in Fashion Week as well. What was that all about? I mean, what's going on here? Just like making movies, making albums, doing Fashion Week. What was your experience like back there in New York Fashion Week? I love New York. It's one of my favorite cities to go to visit. Tell us about all of that.
Okay, so this recent New York Fashion Week, I modeled for Parmarla Demore. I think I'm saying her name right. It was my first time modeling her clothes, and it was a blast. I had a great time. I also modeled in another show too. It was called Bomb Fashion Week, and Megan Good hosted it. And that was in New York as well for New York Fashion Week. And I modeled the designer. Their collection is Mahogany collection. So it was fun modeling their clothes and meeting new people. I love doing these Fashion Week shows. I'm actually headed to Dubai in November. So I'm excited to do that Fashion Week show.
Just all
But
around the world again, right?
yeah. But last year when I traveled the world and did New York, London, Paris, all those, it was for my brand called Detron Couture. So yeah, and I love modeling, and I also love doing the fashion design stuff, and whichever way life takes me on whatever path, I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely that European tour stuff. I can't wait to get over there more myself. Next year, I have 4 trips to the EU and at least 2 trips to the UK, and then I'm going to be going east. So travel's fun. Travel's fun. When you get to, I want to get. When you visit these countries, do you get to take time off to like explore the cultures, or is it work, and go to the next market?
So it's pretty much work, but I do try to at least take a day,
Mm-hmm.
just like at least one day. If I don't get to like see everything, I've saw some of it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I try to do as much as I can within a day, because normally with the Fashion Week shows, they keep you busy. Like you got the fittings, you got to do photo shoots, rehearsals. It's just a lot. And finally, when you do get a little bit of a break, which I try to take at least one day, I get to see it, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. Now you come from kind of a fashion background, fashion family. We're talking a little bit about that pre-show. Was there also? We'll talk about that background and that upbringing. But did you also come from a musical family as well, or was there a transition that said, I'm fashion around my whole life as a growing up, and then went, oh, I want to do this music stuff, and then came back to fashion? How did all that kind of blend together? And well, wait a second, movie making too. I mean, where did that go? Like, how did that all fit in through your childhood to your adulthood?
Okay, so my mom, she was a lot like me. She did everything. She was a fashion designer. She was also a singer. She sung backup for Diana Ross at the Super Bowl. And she also did videography for weddings. So I feel like I kind of like saw her doing all this stuff and got inspired. Like she was like my idol. I really looked up to her. But I decided to go to school for filmmaking because I did want to be an actress. and it's really, really hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's really, really hard to get parts, and it's a lot of auditioning and rejection and all that stuff. So I told myself, I'm like, why don't I go to school for film, and I could put myself in all my own movies, and there you go.
You'll see why I'm laughing later in a few moments here, but go ahead.
Yeah, and that was really my main reason for going to school for film. But I actually fell in love with it. I love the writing and creating and piecing stuff together and meeting new people and having the authority and the control of being the producer and director. I do like that. I like that authority. But I've also, worked with other people and been in their films. And I love doing the acting side as well. But I do love being the director and the producer and writer and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I know exactly kind of the circumstance. Like I grew up playing with video cameras at the age of 6. This is in 1979, 1980. Not a lot of parents, not a lot of kids had that, and if you did, you weren't allowed to touch the $1,000 video camera and play with it. But I snuck it out when my dad wasn't home. So, and we'd make little home movies and stuff. Set the way forward clock, to my first. I went to school, but I went to school to learn how to run a company, to have a production company to make my first television series. And my first television series that I came up with was an idea after bouncing around, was to show short films by other producers, because I already had my first short film that I filmed in college. And then I said, well, what am I going to do for 13 more episodes? But I looked at it in a way and I said, well, I got this short film and I wanted to distribute it to film contests and have it, maybe win some awards and all that fun stuff or whatever. Yay, cool. But then I thought about it, even if in the Seattle area, if I would have submitted it at the time, what contests would it have gone in and how many people could have been in that room at any given time? If it was a fully packed room, what theater, what area was going to play in? Let's say 300 people at most would see my film. Maybe one night in the film contest that ran for a week. Yay. Okay, great. But by putting my short film in my own short film show, yeah, I guess you could say the judges were biased on that one. But I put that out there. I had 13,000 people see my short film.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So, it was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, if we ran that series, I could also come back to other artists. And when I started searching for films, my biggest dilemma was I started getting a lot of submissions for films. And I kind of had not a true anxiety attack, but kind of a little bit of overwhelming sensation of like, who am I to say what's a good piece of work and what's a bad piece of work? And all these were kind of the rejections that had gone into the other local film festivals. And I'm like, this piece is amazing. And this piece is a lot of hard work went into it.
But a lot of those film festivals don't even watch all the movies. Like I found out, like a friend of mine used to work with them, and it's all about the money. And it's kind of messed up because, it can be hurtful to other, to filmmakers that's like, oh, I put all this into it. Why did they reject my film? And it's because they might have not even watched your film.
Yeah. No, and that's why I had to watch I had boxes and boxes of VHS tapes, and my doing it the right way is just myself. I didn't pass them off to my team and give them 800 tapes. And then I had to sit there and, I didn't have 800 tapes, but I had boxes and boxes. But I had to watch them, catalog them, put notes on them, contact everyone, say I'm screening, all this, the right stuff. And what I decided, though, what it really came down to, and unfortunately, that one word that you said there, it wasn't money. It wasn't people paying me to put their films on, but I had to look at I had to look at the main thing of, okay, what's going to be commercially viable for our audience and say that was a good short film, or that's going to have a sponsor come on board and say, you have a great lineup, a great sequence of films that we know people are going to tune into and watch. So we'll give you money to buy ads on your shows. I had to look at what was going to get us better ratings, basically, and that's just the unfortunate truth is if we want to pay people, we have to have money coming through the door. And right. Money's coming through the doors. We have to have content that people are going to want to come back and watch. If we start getting bad ratings or nobody wants to talk about our show, Well, I mean, that's like having a Broadway show and nobody goes to it. Well, all right, well, that's your reviews. You get the most phenomenal people, but if nobody goes, well, then there you go. So, and I didn't want to be just another fly by night type thing. So, yeah, I get it. Wanting to do it all yourself and kind of being your self-made person is doable now. There was a term that came up in 2005, right when YouTube was coming out. I remember this term because it applied to me directly, and they called people in the industry that were kind of doing everything, they called them predators. And because you were the producer, the director, and the editor, so you were a predator. And I was like,
I
I
like
guess
that
I'm a
title.
predator now. Yeah, okay, that's great. That's something exact. So I didn't want to go out to Facebook or MySpace at the time, like, everyone, I'm a predator. Okay, no, not good timing on that one, but that's because you can kind of do it all yourself now. And as technology's gotten bigger, faster, we didn't even have iPhones in our hand in 2005. They didn't come out till 2007. So, even still filming a show, you still wanted to get a decent quality camera, and the cameras that were coming out at the time were digital based, that were broadcast quality. So it wasn't getting a VHS tape, then converting it, and then it looked like crap and all that. I mean, it looked like what it looked like you could afford. Let's put it that way. Maybe that's the artistic goal you were going for, is I wanted to look like VHS. Yeah, okay.
Well, actually, nowadays, I think they are trying to do that look. Like, I saw a few I think Doja Cat, she was trying to give like that old quality type of look in her video.
You just said I have a boy cat, but I got him from somebody else, and they named him Doja the cat, but he's a boy cat. So he's like over here, he's like, "Who said my name? Who said my name?" Anyways, yeah, no, I mean, you get that definitely aesthetic is there. I mean, it's a medium. It was definitely a medium that you look back on the old footage and you're like, what was this shot on? But I think there was a group I know, they went back and just recently, come on, Last Astaire. I just interviewed him a few weeks ago. And they actually wanted their sound to be very analog. So they went and they bought a Tascam 4-track mixer. They had to basically buy one. That one didn't work. And this is a piece of machinery from like the 80s. Basically, and they bought one, had to dismantle Frankenstein that one to build another one, so they could actually have this analog 4-track sound on cassette tape to make their new album.
That's what's up, though. That
was cool. Like really kind of cool that they wanted that sound. So going back in time, doing that is, you can't make that digitally. You can
right, and the stuff in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, it was epic, and it's really hard to get that. Even movies, like the writing, and it was just such really good stuff out there.
Yeah, and that's I talk about with my friend that I was in this industry with for years, still my best friend to this day, who I started in the industry with back in '92 in public access television. He's like, well, I want my shows to look like it's being filmed from a phone, because everyone's filming from a phone, and that's what it looks like. I go, no, dude, no. No, no. Just because you see everyone filming with a phone, you want to do that medium on a phone, you can have it done professionally, but make it look like it's from a phone. But don't make it go from a phone and then try to think that's a commercially viable product. I mean, it's frequently the debate in the music industry right now is the cell phones at concerts and events and nightclubs, and people are just now on the floor,
It's kind of sad though that everyone is very caught up in their phone, because it's like they kind of missing the moment, enjoying the moment, because you're so into your phone now. It's like, oh, I gotta get on my phone. But what about actually being present?
Yeah, and performers are noticing that in the dance floors and the clubs. There are clubs that are coming out now and putting stickers on the phone. I've talked about it for the last 4 weeks. Sort of what topic that I talk about with artists. How do you feel about the cell phone on the floors and what it takes away? And I'm for it. I mean, if I do some events, I want to start a trend in my own city of being the first actual venue. I'm working on becoming an event manager, program manager for a space here in Seattle. And if I do it, I might just say, look, no cell phones allowed, or no cell phone photography. And I can go on very legal reasons for that to say, and if you get seen recording the show or recording in here or using your phone, we will ask you to leave. Actually, there won't be any forgiveness. It's like, boom, we'll make a selfie area. You want to take a selfie? We'll make a photo booth area. Take pictures of your friends there, record there, but no cell phones past this point. People don't want to come. They want to talk bad about us. We'll probably make national headlines with it, going, "Oh, all first club in Seattle to ban cell phone use. Don't steal my ideas if anyone's watching my show." By the way, always happens, but no.
That's a good idea, though. That really sounds good. Because, like, when Beyonce, when she did her concert, it was all over the internet, right? And it's like, oh, I haven't even went yet, but I could just watch it on YouTube. Like,
Yeah. And
so,
they've talked about banning cell phones. They make magnetic bags that, like, when you get there, you put your phone in the bag, it closes. You can only unlock it if you go to an area and like to the bar area where it's not where you can film any of the show, or when you go outside, well, unlock your phone, go outside, come back in. I could go in so strict and saying I have a one-time re-entry policy. You want to go outside, be on your phone, come back in, okay, but once you go back out, you're not going in and out of our club. It's I get it that even when I was talking with somebody a few weeks ago, they said kids 15 and up, or when they were going to the clubs with cell phones in their hand at 15 years old. So getting in there, I mean, even from a bar perspective, if you look at it from a financial perspective, if somebody's standing there on their phone because they're bored at the show and they're doing this, okay, they could be either standing there or watching the show, what's going on. They could be talking and interacting with people, or they could be standing in line to buy drinks.
right.
And this happened a long time ago at a nightclub I was at, not to try to go off on a tangent here, but they would play movies as the visuals in the electronic music nightclub. We'd have people standing there as kind of wallflowers. They weren't watching the show. They weren't checking their phones. They were watching the screens, and they were watching Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee Flint, And they're standing there, and if they're standing there for 10, 15 minutes, they're not in line to buy drinks. They're taking up space. Yeah, the club looks full, but they're not part of the machine other than the club looking full in that sense. And they're watching the artist and the music. And now what they'll do is they'll just simply go on. I mean, if I'm bored of the club, I'll drop on Candy Crush. Very rarely am I doing that in the club, but I was very impressed when I went to Berlin last year and walked right up to the door, and they went, sticker. And I went, cool. Like, no worries for me, because I'm a videographer, though, and I'm sure you being a video professional, the last thing we want to be doing if we're out of the nightclub is filming the event, trying to get some awesome shots of it. Like, can I just set up an interview with you all later, or maybe something professional like later on? But that being said, yeah, it's kind of very very interesting to see that cell phone use in the clubs. But now everyone has access to make a 348 pixel megapixel cameras in your iPhone now, on the iPhone 17. And the one other thing that's coming out is now you can do reverse shooting. So when I'm filming the show, my camera here can be filming me in the reaction shot that I have.
Oh, that's what's up. So is that on the new
iPhone? Everyone jump in the picture. So both angles are getting that in the footage with it. So basically,
cool.
We're going to see where that all goes. But yeah, maybe I'll try to start a trend here in Seattle and make it all like no cell phone use in our club. Because you got to think of the performance rights too. If somebody's out there working on their comedy act and you're in the club and you're filming that, that's their content going out online. Or I could say, hey, you want to watch it online? Well, we're going to pay-per-view the damn thing. Give us $10 to watch it online for home. If you're not going to come to the club, or if you're out and about and you're anywhere in the world, watch it here. Watch it online. So, do some revenue generation, split that with the artists as well, is something that I think is being left on the table. But again, I can talk about all that stuff. We're here to talk about you, not what Darren wants to do in the future of nightclub business and all that stuff. Let's get back to you. Has your musical taste changed over time, or do you think it will? I mean, did you start out with kind of the vision of I'm an artist doing this kind of music, and now I'm spoken word and rap? I mean, I don't know your whole catalog, so forgive me for not listening to everything of yours and your whole backlog before I got you on the show. But has your musical taste changed over time? Or do you maybe see I want to really I like where I'm at, but I want to explore this in the future?
So I feel like I always dabbled into a little bit of everything. I mean, even from my first album, it was like a mix of pop, R&B, and even a little bit of rap on the first one. So I've always dabbled into different genres, and I did a couple gospel songs too, and I even did like 2 or 3 rock songs. So for me, it's just I like exploring all different genres, and I don't think you should be like trapped into doing one thing, because I know a lot of people get mad like when Beyonce decided to go country. They were like, why? And I'm like, why not? Right? You're an artist. You don't want to just be stuck in a zone. So for me, I love to explore, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, that when you're at that level of the machine, I don't. I say this quite frequently with a couple projects I do, is that if you were selling air, somebody's going to complain about it. If you're selling water, somebody's going to complain. Well, it's not Fiji water. Nothing against Fiji water. I just brought that up at the top of my head. I meant water that comes from the actual country of Fiji, or it's not Icelandic ice cube water. It's not. It just doesn't have the right mineral. Like, I mean, somebody's going to complain out there. And before we may have not have before the internet, you may have not have heard these complaints unless it was at a local level. You go out to your local environment, you talk. Or if somebody got on stage at a major concert in front of 40,000 people, they could be like, "This really sucks," and everyone goes, "Yeah," or something like that. But they didn't really have a mass outlet, but the evening news or a local newspaper, and it wasn't in real time that you could change any of that. So the media could really control the opinions of people very fast. And now we can see how fast opinions can grow. And, or you could talk about Russian farm sites that basically, or other spoof sites that go out there and just try to dox things or create controversy out there. And it's like, really, if you don't like the person's music, don't buy it and don't listen to it.
Agreed.
That's it. Move along. You don't have to say anything about it. It's like the saying out of Bambi: if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And if you don't like it, then don't gravitate towards around people that do like it. If you don't like that they like it, well then, if you don't like people eating hot dogs, then don't hang around people that eat hot dogs. Or whatever. I just pulled that out too. It's that kind of thing. Surround yourself with people that are gonna, that you're gonna like the same qualities as you. But if your group is just hate, well, have fun with that. That won't last. I guess you're always gonna find something that you're not gonna like in the world. So I think you're right. When Beyonce transcended that and went over to another genre, it probably hit a lot of people. But she sounds like a pretty smart person, and don't worry, they're not coming for me. Oh yeah, I'm getting arrested by the Beyonce police now. That's not our original sound effect I put in the back of the show. But basically, it's like, let people do what they want to do, because artists like her, obviously she puts in a lot of hard work. She has a team of people that put in a lot of hard work. But even as a aspiring artist coming up, you're right. People can get pigeonholed into this is their genre, this is their type, and then they break away from that. I hear that a lot with electronic music artists. Is they really produce one genre of music that they're really known for, but then they break away and they got to create a whole nother alias that they release that music under, because they don't want it to impact their thing and make it look like they're all over the radar. And then they come back and go, I'm going to reinvent this art. I really like this because in the background they were producing this kind of music. And like, I'm going to bring this out now. And people go, what's going on? My brain is. They're a musician. They're allowed. They're an artist. If I painted in green and all of a sudden start painting in red, and I don't like you anymore. Well, so what? I'm painting red. What do you do? Leave me alone. You know.
Right, right.
So
Like, I mean, I've experienced a lot, oh my God, a lot of cyberbullying and people hating on me
mhm.
for my films, my music, anything I do. Even I wrote a children's book. There was a couple haters on that too. But I'm like, well, if you hate me so much, then why do you continue to every time I post something new, go talk about it? Like, obviously, I must be on your brain for some reason because you continuing to harass me. So
Things are
I
gonna be
just
clearing that in your mind.
right. So I'm like, okay, well, you say you hate me, but I think you really love me, so we'll go with that.
Yeah. No, they say all publicity is good publicity. Um, I recently we drive our mobile studio around Seattle, and somebody decides that they don't think about what they're really doing when they want to post a negative post about what we do out there. And it's like, thank you, because you just had a bunch of people see that on Reddit. Okay, and they're probably going back to my website now. Thanks for the free promo. And then, I mean, so yes, and it shows me a character. We have a rule called the 999 to 1 rule, where we see 999 people dancing in the streets, literally pulling their phones out, putting it on TikTok, Instagram, boom, boom, or, and getting tens of thousands of views on our footage that we do when we drive around. And one person will drive by and be like, or, and we'll just simply slow down the truck and go, thank you very much. We love you. We love you so much. You're amazing. We love you. The world loves you. You're a very awesome person. And then drive off. We got, and they're like, what they're doing is illegal. Well, yeah, you know what? I'll say it right here on camera. We have the Seattle Police Department, the cops. They dance in the streets. We've had them. We've literally driven by them and watched them. I thought that one time they're like, hey, trying to get our attention. This is just a few weeks ago. I'm like, crap. Okay, this is gonna bust this. And the guy goes, turn it up. And I'm like, this is a cop with 2 other cops. And I'm like, all right, cool. Fire engine drive by. They love us. I mean, the town knows us. We're out here spreading joy and having fun. But you're always gonna find critics and people wanting to voice, especially when they get keyboard tough guy. I'm so comfortable behind a keyboard, and you're never gonna know who I am because my name is 813. I hate the world. All right, cool. Thank you. Just simply come back. I'll give you. I'm just gonna say this on camera. I gotta say. Recently came in. Here's my response back when anyone ever complains about our truck. Thank you for contacting IM. We strive to make our advertising campaigns memorable. Feel free to contact us for any of your advertising needs. That's what I send out when somebody sends a hate text. Thank you for contacting. And I actually manually type that. It's not like an auto
that's
just comes in.
amazing.
Thank you very much for contacting us. Oh, it gets better. This one. I don't want to digress into a little bit here, but this one gets a little funnier. It's like, basically, they're like, in a nutshell, they're like, stop contacting me. I said, hello, this is the customer service department for IM. If you wish for us to stop contacting you, please stop contacting us. We'll be happy to oblige to your request if you choose to stop contacting us. Have a wonderful day. You're the one reaching out to us. If you didn't say anything, we wouldn't contact you. This is people, but you can't control people, and they're going to have their opinions. And
Yeah.
like something, everyone has one is the saying, I guess. So do you ever sometimes get fed up with making and playing music, doing fashion, making movies, and do you kind of have a mantra, a spot, or a way to reset yourself to deal with that?
Do I get fed up with creating?
With making music, playing music, the fashion industry, dealing with I wouldn't say hate, but dealing with haters and all that. Do you have a way to woo-saw out of that? Is there anything that you've gone to, like a go-to mantra of like, okay, I know that I go to my special place, I meditate, anything that you have, or any advice you give other artists out there to know how to take a break from it all so you don't
Oh yeah,
burn out?
Jesus.
Jeez, there we go.
I always pray to God. You know, He is my
Yeah.
number one. If I'm going through a troubled time or something, I always take my problems to Him because I know that He can bring me that peace, that joy, that comfort, and a lot of stress and worrying. You know, that calls from Satan, I would say. So,
Uh-huh.
it's always for me. It's good to have God in your life. That brings me peace and joy.
Nice.
But when it comes to creating, I really love it. I love it so much that I don't think I would ever really get fed up on creating. But I think that's why I like to do multiple different things. That way, if I'm maybe a little bored with it, then I'll go do some fashion. Oh, I'm bored with fashion. Let me go
Mhm.
write a book. You know what I mean? So,
Wait a second. Where's this writing a book? Writing a book? Now you're writing a book?
oh yeah, I have a children's book. I actually won an award for it this year.
Nice.
Impact Award. Yeah, it's a children's holiday book called Bijou. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles.
Nice. Okay. I didn't even jump in with that. It's like books, fashion, movies, music, acting. Well, yeah. Okay. You do theater too, I bet. When you do theater?
I did theater when I was younger. Yeah. I also own a magazine too. We just released it this past week. It's a quarterly magazine, and it's focused for artists, fashion, actors, everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you could say if I'm getting a little bored, then I'll go do something new or do something else or do something else that I love. But it's normally always in the art form. It's
Mhm.
always entertainment.
What's the best business partnership deal you've ever made? Is there one that stands out saying, I'm really glad I did this because my career wouldn't have done this, or I wouldn't have thought about this had I never made that decision to go forward doing this?
I would think.
Uh-oh.
I feel like I've been
Hold on.
in
Wait. For a second there, your mic is going out. Hold on. I think your mic went out for a second. Let's get a check from you really quick.
Hello? Hello?
There we go.
Mic check.
There we go.
Okay.
Yep, now we're back.
I heard some static. I didn't know if that was on my side or your side.
I'm not sure either, but it cut out there for a second. Wanted to make sure you came back in. You were saying though, we were talking about the best business partnership you've ever made, or best deal you've ever made, kind of thing.
So I feel like that I've been pretty successful in everything I've done, to be honest. I feel like making movies has been a great accomplishment, and it's been something that I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing, especially when I started seeing a lot of sales and revenue on it.
Uh-oh.
So, it's big, and having it on like TV shows and films and stuff, that's really, brought me some good paychecks. So I think
Yeah.
that I can't even say it, but licensing your music in film is like, yeah, it's big
Okay.
time.
Had a little bit of technical difficulty there, but we'll move on. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about that. How do you envision your life in 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself?
I don't really know. I used to look towards the future, but right now I've just really been living in the moment and just living each day. I would like to be married with children, Grammy Award winning artist, Oscar Award winning actress, filmmaker, so keep my fingers crossed.
How about the best piece of advice you've ever been given? What is there anything that really sticks out in your mind that keeps you moving every day? I know there's one that I have that I remember as a kid growing up. But I usually like to hear if there's anything that anyone's ever said to you that really sticks to you to this day that says, yes, I do follow that. Yeah. Or something you maybe read or just a message that you could let our DJ Sessions fans know about.
Too blessed to be stressed. You know, we
Too
live
blessed to be
amazing,
stressed.
amazing, blessed life. We should enjoy every moment and don't stress about it. Just
Yeah,
live.
I hear that. Well, do you ever get nervous before a performance before you go on? Or are you now? Does your
No, I've always been excited. Every time I have a show, I'm like, yeah, okay, these people are here to see me. Let me go out there and yeah. So no, I've never been nervous on a show.
who's the best? Who's the most inspiring person you've ever met backstage? Like I know when you're backstage, I've been to a lot of events, a lot of places. Has there ever been anyone backstage you'd be like, wow, I was backstage and so walked over, or I saw so and I talked with them for a minute. Anyone that comes to mind that you've met that would say, and then that was an inspiration to meet that person because I'd always looked up to them.
Yes, I mean, I've met a lot of celebrities through my lifetime, so
Mhm.
it's been cool to meet just about every last one of them. But I would say Hayden Christensen from Star Wars. I've always had a crush on him, and I was invited to the Takers premiere in Los Angeles, and it was during my birthday weekend, and he was in Takers, and so I got to meet him, and he was so nice. But it was crazy because as he was coming close to me, it was like slow motion. It was like a light, like an angel. It was so hard to explain, but he was like the most exciting for me to meet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I mean, my experience I had, I was in my early 20s, like 21 years old, maybe 22, and I met Jack Nicholson, and it was pretty awesome. It was interesting, the whole story. I won't go too much into it, but I'll never forget what he said to me. Never forget the interaction, and that kind of has been a little bit of a driving factor in the back of my head. I've met a lot of people, but of course, my family is, a big influence there as well. What's up, mom, dad? Hope you're watching. But but no, that was a very, very pivotal moment that kind of was like, okay, this is game time. And looking back on that, it's like, wow, that was cool. So it's always interesting, meeting some people, the people that you look up to or see on the silver screen, or up on a stage, and then meeting them in person. And sometimes there's that persona too they're putting on the show, but back scenes, a lot of people I meet, you look at them, they're all energetic, like this on stage, but really they're like back behind the scenes, really humble and kind
Yeah.
and nice. And, and a lot of them want to share and also look out and help people that were them when they started out, remembering they were this small at once too. Nobody just goes, no overnight Cinderellas. There was probably a lot of hard work that went into all that stuff to make them a Cinderella that nobody ever sees. No one knows all the stuff that goes on, and you just have to hear about it in their autobiography. You know, so what do you like to do when you're taking a break from all of this stuff? Is there something that you like to go do that says, okay, no fashion, no music, no this, no that, a break, not the mantra to get you back in, but just a break? Like some people like horseback riding, some people like scuba diving, some people like rock climbing, some people like reading a book. Right? Is there anything what do you like to do when you're taking a break from all of this? Because like you said, you can pick up and be like, oh, I'm done with this right now. I'm going to make some music. Okay, I'm over here. I'm making a film. I'm not trying to depict that you have ADD or anything, because I know what that's like. But I have ADD, but I know what it's like having multiple irons in the fire, and I got to sometimes get back and go, all right, it's dinner time and Netflix, or dinner time and comedy, or go do some activity outside. Do you have anything? What do you like to do when you're taking a break from all this?
So I do love cooking.
Okay.
I love doing like sweets and yeah, I love cooking. That's one thing. And then I like watching movies. I
Mm-hmm.
like going to the theater, and I like to chill and watch Netflix and Hulu and stream and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm a huge movie buff.
Right on. Cool. Any particular genre?
So I used to be obsessed with like horror movies. I love movies like Scream. I know what you did last summer, stuff like that. But here recently, I feel like I'm more into like Hallmark Christmas movies, Lifetime films, stuff like that. I really, I know you're laughing at me, but
No,
I
no,
don't
I'm
know.
not
I
laughing
just
at
love stuff
all.
like that. Like
No,
I'm
not laughing
excited.
at all.
Christmas is coming, so yay.
No, you mentioned horror, and my sister recently was telling me about a horror film that won a bunch of awards, and it was so good they got it on limited screenings here in the U.S.
Oh
And the movie
wow.
is called Good Boy, and it's a horror movie that it was so well received at Sundance. It got funded for limited release in theaters. They're not paying me for this plug, by the way, but no, it's all told from the perspective of a dog.
Oh
Like the
wow.
dog is telling the whole story. Yeah, that's from what I understand. It's you know, Good Boy fetches a top IFC opening as canine star, emotes fear, suspense better than many actors, says Scott Schumann. Specialty got yeah. I was like, and I guess it's not too scary or gory. It's spooky. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, she wanted me to go see that the other night because it was playing here in Seattle. And I guess a couple of theaters were sold out, and there was one theater, that wasn't sold out. And I was like, oh, cool, like 10:30 at night. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not
I
a huge
just
horror.
you're not a huge horror fan? I just
No.
watched The Strangers 2 yesterday at the big screen, and it was good. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm more science fiction, fantasy more science fiction, I'd say. Type some comedies. My friend likes to watch a lot of rom-coms, so I get myself caught up watching a lot of those, which are funny. I mean, there's good stuff out there, good writing out there. I'm kind of excited to see what happens with these. I grew up as a kid reading the Choose Your Own Adventure books, so I'm kind of interested to see what it comes out with them making the Choose Your Own Adventure kind of series of like you go around, and that'd be kind of fun, and seeing all the different endings that could happen with a different movie, if they made certain different ways. Like, you died. Oh, well, now I got to go back and start the movie all over again and go this way or go this way. You got to figure it out, kind of like a video game. Those books were always so exciting as a kid because you never knew what decision you made. You're choosing your own adventure, or seeing. I'm not a big fan on necessarily people using AI to use other people's work to make stuff, but they're now having the movies you can kind of generate on your own and then have them play. I don't think Netflix is doing that. Somewhere is doing that, but basically, maybe it is Netflix that's doing it. But you can kind of create your own story and then have it be a movie or something like that on Netflix.
Oh wow.
I'm
That's
dabbling
cool.
in that realm just a little bit. I don't use it. I use it to do tasks for me in the back end over here at the DJ sessions, not to create stuff from other people's stuff. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like cool, but hey, that's people are gonna use things to do things, and I can't stop them from doing that. But is there anything else you want to let our DJ sessions fans know before we let you get going?
Go stream Fit, available on all digital platforms.
Where's the best place people can go to find out information of where to go get fit?
Oh, so I'm on Instagram at Deuandra. You can also go to my website, deandrabrown.com or dtrontv.com. And that's where a lot of my films are located.
And Roku.
And Recruit, yes.
Right on. I say Roku, you say Roku.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're from Arizona, so
Yeah.
was an accent influenced on you anywhere in your life?
Well, my mother's mom was from Oklahoma, and then
Okay.
my mom's dad was from Louisiana. So they always told me that I had a little bit of country in me. And my mom's like, I don't know where you got that accent from because none of us talk like that. But it was really strong when I was younger. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom's from Idaho, and I grew up. A lot of kids would make fun of me because I'd say Washington, and the kids would be like, "There's no R in Washington," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Of course there isn't, but it said Washington." And that's like, I'm like, so I had to break that out in like 4th or 5th grade, and it's Washington. Washington. My dad's from the East Coast, so sometimes if I get back east a little bit will sink in, and I'll be like, "Oh, we get coffee," or I say Roosevelt instead of Roosevelt. Little things, little slips will happen in there, but that's because you're as a kid, you're growing up and you're hearing it like that, and it just sticks. So, well, awesome, Deuandra. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We definitely want to follow up with you in the future. Stay along with you in your career and everything that's got going on. Going to check out your sites, going to check out your links, your music, and more. One more time, where's the best place for people to go to find out about that?
At Deuandra.
At Deuandra on Insta, the big IG over there. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being on the show today. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. On that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us there and all our socials with over 2,700 past episodes, live interviews, exclusive mixes, 700 news stories plus a month, and our new music section coming out soon, syndicated episodes, and more at thedjsessions.com. I'm Darren, and that's Deuandra coming to you from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm coming to you from Seattle, in Washington, in the virtual studios for the DJ Sessions. And remember, on the DJ Sessions, the music never stops.